Alright, so this looks like it's about a 22 watch holder. Let's see how fast I can run through these watches. Let's see. This is a S Rally. Automatic. It's already moving. Just touch it and it lets you know it has a decent power reserve because these boxes haven't been touched. You can see the small second hand going around, sweeping second hand, and the arrows, a bliss between the bird, Invicta, winged Invicta logo, tell you the time. And that one down there tells you the minutes. Top on the hour, middle on the second. 2 over, 1 under. Pretty interesting watch in my opinion. The lightest watch I have from Invicta that has a metal stainless steel gold plated brace. And you have this one. This one was a sleeper. One of Invicta's special buy 2 get 3 free. And I actually came back to the store to figure out I had to take one back, but one had a scratch on it. And they took it back, no problem. And I looked around the store, couldn't find anything I really wanted, and I grabbed this one. And this one turned out to be a sleeper. A really heavy watch, extremely heavy, well made. Surprised it wasn't one of my first choices. They got a lot of choices in there. As you can see, it's a date. You got the date down there. You got the day right there. It's Quartz. Chrono. Just a nice watch. Call it a sleeper because I didn't really prefer it. The one I preferred I put back, and I actually like this one much better. And it was there the first day, I just missed it. Bunch of Invicta watches. Let's try this one. Just go in order, I guess. Another sleeper if you ask me. Not because I didn't want it. I did want it. But as time went on, I realized this is a serious watch, you know. It's real lightweight, rubber, silicone, nothing. But the more you look into it, you realize this watch is pretty serious. You can actually see through it. Those posts, everything is, it's not for looks, you know, everything is being used, functional. Those posts are being used, you know. You can see them, you can see through the watch, which is really crazy. Not sure how many watches you can see through from the side. And of course you got the skeleton, but it's not a dazzling skeleton, it's actually a functioning, all of those pieces are functioning to hold the watch. It's not, they're not really like bedazzling the watch. I like it because it's functional. And then if you go ahead and wind it, you can see that second hand is very, very smooth. See it approaching the 9 o'clock hour right now. Very smooth second hand. I had to Google search. Didn't wind it enough. I had to Google search to find out who made it, because it seems to me to be smoother than the typical Invicta second hand. Come to find out it was a Chinese company that put these into this watch. In the back, of course, is see-through, huge glass. Unlike most Invictas, this is an Invicta, but unlike most, it's got an enormous back see-through glass. Sorry for the dust and dirt. Enormous. And you get to see the real artistic with the swing arm. Pretty cool. Unexpected. Wasn't expecting it to be that cool. And the glow and the gold on it is really a nice touch, because it looks like a regular silicone watch, but then it takes people a minute or two. If you, I know guys at the checkout counter, people who are not, it's not an instant appreciation. It's a minute or two and they're like, wait a second, what is that? It's a pretty nice watch. The gold really, I think, is doing the trick. It's put in all the right places on this bad boy. All right, then this is a wooden, I believe that's maple wood Invicta. This Invicta actually shut down a really nice restaurant in South Africa once. I was there, and they, like me, when I first saw it, they just couldn't walk past and act like nothing happened. They wanted to see it and show other people, and pretty soon the whole restaurant was at the table discussing this watch. I felt the same way. I was delighted to discuss it. But it's a really well-made watch. The weight on it is monstrous. It resembles really dense wood. It's a date only chrono, water resistant. This has been in the ocean. I've been in the Indian Ocean, the East African Ocean with this. Can't hardly tell I am. If you saw it brand new, you would be able to tell that it was in the ocean, because originally this leather had the slightest touch of suede to it. It kind of just ever so slightly rose off the surface, and that's gone now. Still plush, still a beautiful leather watch, but you know, everybody tells you don't take leather into the ocean. Definitely not saltwater. But my point was, I don't get these type of watches to baby them. It's not a babying type of affair with me and Invicta. I like the chunkiness of it. As you probably figured out, I'm into truck driving. I don't want a watch that I can't use every single day without it being destroyed because I bang into something metal. So anytime I look for a watch with Invicta, I look for one that can take a banging, take a licking, and keep on ticking. Okay. Now you have this one, which I consider to be one of those style watches. Real industrious, big, fat, monstrous watch. One of the biggest faces that I'm aware of that Invicta makes. The face on this thing is enormous. Normally that bezel is not included in the glass. Well, this one, the bezel is under the glass, so it's almost like it has no real bezel to it. But pretty cool. We got the 24-hour, which is not GMT. It's basically identical to the actual time, but it's just this military time on the left. Second chrono feature on the right. Chrono goes up to 30 minutes. You got the date function. Alright, got this thing sitting on a boulder, so hopefully I don't have an accident. But with Invicta, you can have accidents because they're well-made watches. Solid steel, everything's solid. You can tell the second you pick it up. All right, I've always been about rubies, and this one has rubies in it. Very strange, but that was automatic. The bling bling is from the diamonds, so it's got diamonds and rubies, and then you can see the functions underneath of what else is going on in there. But that was a automatic keeper for me. It's not an automatic watch, it's quartz. I actually prefer automatics, but Invicta makes some really, really cool quartz that you just can't walk by past. So I ended up getting this one. Quartz watch, date and chrono. Beautiful watch. Probably end up wearing this one today. Matches my other rubies. Yeah, I definitely wear that one today. Alright. That was me putting together something that I can wear every day. Reflection of the light. Got a beautiful sunrise out here today. Light, sun, everything. Beautiful mountains. So that's what that was about. And I think this one matches everything perfectly, so I'll probably wear that one today. Alright, I'll put that one back. It's telling me I'm going to run out of time here. done that before. We'll see if it actually does it. These 3 are not Invictas. These are the only 3 that made the cut of a non-Invicta inside of an Invicta watch box. Might save those, might run throughout. Just go ahead and run through it. So you got a minute repeater. Invicta makes a minute repeater. I just like this one better. See all the details inside of there. Citizen. It's perpetual calendar. So you don't have to tell it that it's 30 days in this month, 28 days in that month. It already knows. It's eco drive for Citizen, so it's 270-day power reserve. Not the 45-hour power reserve you usually get on a nice watch. And for a non-Invicta, it's a respectable weight to this watch. It's respectable. I did say it's a minute repeater. See if I can get the minute repeater function. So it'll sound out the time if you're in total darkness. That's the 15-minute. It was only one of them. Now it's going to count out the minutes. First one hour, next one the 15-minute interval, last one the minutes. Really cool watch. Like I said, Invicta makes one of these. I personally, in my opinion, believe Citizen just made a better one. So they got my vote on that one. This one, smoothest second hand in the world that I'm aware of. Makes your typical Rolex look like it's hacking, tick-tocking away when you put them next to this one. Oliver. I like how they didn't play any games, nothing going on inside this watch, but a brilliantly bright second hand. Just watch it, sweet. And that's the reason why I got this watch. I got it solely for the fact that that second hand is so doggone smooth. Sometimes I was in the Target store and a woman told me that the second hand on these watches gives her peace. And I busted out laughing because I could relate. Somehow just smooth movements. I don't care if you're a smooth dancer. Smoothness is calming, and that smooth second hand is very calming. This one is your tourbillon. I haven't wound it, but typically if you shake it, even though it's not an automatic, if you shake it, you can actually get it to do what it does. It did for a minute. I'd actually have to wind it. Second, mother of pearl face skeleton. Invicta also makes tourbillons. I just happen to like this one a little better. I thought the details were magnificent. The art was magnificent inside of it. You can see the jewels. It's got a completely independent GMT, 24-hour military style. That sun in the background on the Rover and Lake's name is actually functional. It's goes up and the moon comes out later. Sapphire, and the back is almost, if not more, magnificent than the front. Sometimes I wonder if it wouldn't be a bad idea to put this straps on backwards and wear it this way. It's such a beautiful artistic job they did with this watch. That came from Germany. So that's my 3 that are not Invictas. Strange enough, Invicta makes all of those 3. I just like the way these 3 did it a little better than Invicta. I'll worry about getting that back in later. Okay, so the best watch Invicta's ever made, or put their name on, in my opinion. One moment. In my opinion, this is the best watch. Oops, I dropped it. Now, how in the world did I manage to drop it in a bunch of rocks next to a mountain? The cool part about this watch is it's not a G-Shock, but it could give a hot doggone if you drop it. It doesn't care. It's as solid a steel watch as you will ever. Oops, I dropped it again in a bunch of rocks. I'm telling you, it does not matter. This is the longest, the oldest Invicta watch I have, the very first one I bought. I was looking for something because I had a diesel watch, and the diesel watch shattered in the rough lifestyle of truck driving, and then just couldn't take it. And it was called Badass. Nice watch, but it was fragile. So this one was my next watch, and it's been here ever since. Extremely well built. See all those scratches? I just put those on there, no problem, because I always put screen protectors on all of these watches. All of them. If you notice any kind of a strange look to the surface, is because they've all got screen protectors on. But as far as the watch, the steel takes a licking and keeps ticking. It's not a G-Shock, but gee, it can take a shock. Invicta Intrinsic Coalition Forces. It would take forever for me to walk through everything this watch does. I'll give it a shot though. Okay, so initially it's on nothing. I don't know if it's the sun. You probably think, hey, maybe that's the sun. It's not. You can turn the entire face off on this watch. Preserve battery, which I do if I'm not using it. Then you can turn it on, and I think with all this light, okay, you can see it. Eastern Standard Time gives you the time. Analog and the digital time is down there. See it? Yeah, you can see it. 9:20 something. Gives you the date. 29th. And it can give you, oh, it's just letting you know it's T1, where the 9 o'clock is pointing. Let you know it's the time 1. You can hit it again, and it goes to time 2. You see up there, time 2. It's there's another time zone. Truck driving. I'm in Utah, I think, and New Mexico or Utah, and time zones change, you know. I'm out of the East Coast, Southeast Coast, but East Coast anyway. Hey, second time zone. So you got regular time, time 1, time 2. Oh, I'm going up to time 3 and 4. Sorry, I wasn't reading that right. So that's 4 time zones for you. You got an alarm function, chrono. See, the shot clock came up. If you can see the shot clock. Kind of hard. It's such a brilliant, beautiful morning. Now you have a compass. Tell you which way is north. Okay, they just try to find the north as best they can. Oh, you should hold it this way anytime you want it to point to the north. Alright. Then you got your mile per hour. Then another timer, not necessarily chrono, but basically the same as a timer. Then you have your yacht. Then you have your tide. I'm just reading them. I don't think you can see that through the light. But then you have your second tide, high and low tide. Then it'll tell you what phase the moon is on, in case you were wondering. Then it'll tell you it's the 17th week of the year. There's the week number, name, and this is the 17. And we're on the 29th day. Then the date. So you've got 4/18. That's 2018, 4th month, 29th day, and the 50th. I don't know what the 50 represents. Someone a little better in horology would know. Okay, and then back to cutting everything off and just showing analog time if you just want to use it as an analog watch. Notice, still magnificently beautiful. Just a beautiful watch. Take a licking and keep ticking. Favorite, most complicated watch. I didn't even know they made watches that complicated. All right, to this one, huge 54mm abalone. I don't really like the multi-tone iridescent, or no, not iridescent. They call it something else, I think. But I wasn't really a fan of that. But with this face, it matched so perfectly, and I'm all about coordination, as you can see. Got the coordination going on strong here. All about it. But yeah, so the coordination of that abalone matching perfectly this multi-tone brace. Really monstrous watch, really heavy. You can see it next to a Sea Hunter. It's almost putting that Sea Hunter to shame. And with respect to monstrosity, size, it's actually 300-meter water resistant. I test all of these Invictas for their claim on water resistance. I don't go that deep, but if it's a diver, it's going in the water. Okay, speaking of water, we got this one. This is the one I take into the water every time. Absolutely beautiful watch to take underwater. It's 1,000 meter tested, water resistant. But you screw that down, and when that sun hits that underwater, it's crystal clear. I mean, I would have thought, which I used to, take this one underwater because it has this function here causes it to light up, backlighting. So you can see, no backlighting necessary. All you need this thing to do, really, underwater on a beautiful day like today, you don't even need it to hit the sun. I mean, it's just going to be bright and brilliant underwater. But if it's a darker, not so crystal clear water, when that sun hits this thing, it's like you're looking at it now. You can easily see how much time, and all of these on the Invictas, they function. Rotating bezel, unidirectional. This one, because it's the baddest watch Invicta makes, it's not unidirectional, but goes both ways. I guess you call that multi or bi. All right, then this is one of my favorite Invictas. Extremely classy. I like wearing this with really nice clothes. In my opinion, this is when Invicta says we are not trying to make a Rolex. We're trying to make something better than a Rolex. So if you take away the gold, if you choose one of Rolex's stainless steel watches, and they make plenty of them for $8,000, I don't believe they can compete with this. This stainless steel, they have stainless steel. Put it up against any watch, really. I mean, this is such a classy watch. You can see the bezel has a reading on the side and on the top. The top is easily scratched. They use that aluminum, I think it is. Same as Rolex for a number of decades, and then Rolex switched to another material because it's so easily scratched. But they didn't. They kept that material in there. And this one is actually chiseled out of solid steel. So if that gets scratched up, you still have this one, which is solid steel chiseled out. Really outrageous detail. Screw down crown. Like most of these watches I've shown you have screw down crown. Smooth sweeping second hand. And the date there. 300 meter water resistant, see-through back, automatic. Kind of cheated you all on some of these automatics. This is also see-through back automatic. This one is also see-through back automatic. Sorry about that. I got to keep you all up to date on that. All right, now talk about chiseling it out. One of my favorites. Chiseled out of steel, not worried about scratching. Mother of pearl face. Reserve quality, 300 meter water resistant, date, screw down crown, with the warning that you're not water protected when you unscrew it and the red shows up. That lets you know that you are not protected. See the red in there. It's like, hey, you are not ready to roll. Make sure you screw me down. See-through back. My opinion, really extremely well made watch. And if you were diving and you wanted to put that wetsuit on, but you didn't want to change the links and you wanted to keep your watch on, then you can, has a